Yo, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. So today's video, I've decided to upload an extra one for this week because I feel like y'all are already tired of the dream journal thing, but like I like to commit to things, so that's why I posted part 3 anyway, even though people didn't seem to care about part 2 as much. But honestly, part 2 and 3, that's when things get more interesting, if you know what I mean. But for those who are freaking tired of the dream journal thing, right? This is why I'm going to make this video. So today's video, I'm going to be talking about Theresa Caputo. And if you didn't know by my Instagram, I actually saw her show live last Saturday. I think it was the 12th. I think it was the 12th. Of February. Yeah, because 13 would have been Sunday and 14 was Monday. But anyway, so I got free tickets from, a close friend, and I was super appreciative of those tickets. I was really excited. So I'm like, yo, mom, you want to come with me and see Theresa Caputo? And if you don't know who Theresa Caputo is, she is the Long Island medium. And so I'm going to give like my perspective, my review, I don't know, of how I felt about her and, I don't know, stuff like that. So if you haven't seen her on TV or live, I actually never really watched her on TV. I don't know why. Like, I would love her show. I don't know why I never really watched it on TV. I really want to get into watching other mediums on TV. I used to watch Chip on, I can't even remember what the hell that show was called. Kindred Spirits. I think I watched something else with him in it too. And he's pretty awesome too, and I like him. But so I kind of want to go around and see some mediums live and, learn. Because you know what? There's a lot of learning I need to do. And so I thought it would be wise to go to her show and learn some things. So if you're wondering, yes, she's legit. She's not a fake. So get that out of your mind. But so yeah, I'm going to tell you what I thought about her. So first things first, in her live show, I don't know if anybody's ever watched any live shows, but she does the Pledge of the Pledge of Allegiance and the like they do in baseball games and stuff, which I respect that. Cool. So acid reflux. I was really shocked at how fast that she would get into like the zone. Because for me, I gotta sit there and meditate for who knows how long. And it takes me a while. But for her, she was like, boom, bang, boom. Like, holy shit. I was intrigued. I was amazed. Okay. And so where we were at the Sands casino in Bethlehem. And so the little showroom actually wasn't too big. It was actually pretty decent sized. And so it was actually pretty decently comfortable. It wasn't too crowded. But yeah, so now I was in row 8. I was really fucking close to like the stage, and those tickets are fucking expensive. So like, I can't believe I got them for free. And like, thank you again to the person who gave them to me. Like, best gift ever. But yeah, so my main objective of going was not to get a reading. Did I think it would be nice or cool? Yeah, obviously. But my main objective there was to learn. I need to work on my mediumship. Everybody knows I need to work on my mediumship. And so that's what I wanted to do. And so I was actually happy she didn't call me, because there were so many people that needed the healing messages. I didn't. Like, there are so many people who needed it way more than I do. And so I'm glad she didn't pick on me. But also, how would I be like, yo guys, by the way, I got picked on by the, Long Island media. Like, I wasn't allowed to film. Like, no one would ever fucking believe me anyway. But anyway, so she gets right in the zone, right? And so she starts the front row, of course, and she's just like boom, boom, boom with the messages. But here's one thing I noticed. The spirits like to piggyback off each other, okay? And the seating, I'm going to say this, and people might not agree with me. I feel like those seats were picked, I don't want to say divinely, right? But it was amazing to see the ones that she helped, right? Everybody was sitting really close to one another, okay? So, like, we'd have the people in the front row, right? You get the one girl, and then that spirit would be like, okay, by the way, and then it would be the person next to the person she just did, and then the person right behind, like, literally the row right behind, like, literally behind the person. And it kind of just, like, did that, and I was like, wow, that's pretty neat. And so I like that. And so I feel like when it comes to, like, messages from spirit and trying to get their loved ones to hear them, I feel like sometimes they do things to make it where it's easier for that to happen. So, like, getting those seats where they were seated, I feel like, you know, that was very amazing, that those people were lucky to be around each other, right? And so she did that. And I will say this too. The way she sees spirit, she said, was that she sees them in, like, shadow form, like a dark shadow, and then they relay images to her. And I thought that was very interesting because some of the mediums that I've studied, they don't see spirits all the same way, okay? So for me, example, I'm like a deep trance medium. I have to be in meditation, who knows how long, right? And then I can get very clear images if I don't do that, right? And I do some psychometry session with somebody and they give me an object, I can get images, not necessarily people, but I can get images and symbols. But if I'm not there meditating and I'm just doing it, like, right off, like, here's the image or here's the object, and they'd be like, here, what do you pick up from that? A lot of the times, and I always have to be blindfolded for this too. It's weird. I don't understand it. But for me, when I just don't meditate, it's black and white and very hazy. Now, if I'm sitting and doing my meditation for like an hour or whatever, I get a lot of crisp, detailed. Now I'm starting to get color. Thank God. I was getting frustrated just seeing black and white and haziness. So now it's starting to be more in color when I meditate. But I will say this, if I don't meditate regularly, that shit goes away and I don't see it as well. But yeah, so for me, to get my best groove thing on, I have to meditate for a while. Theresa Caputo doesn't necessarily have to. She can just go around and be like, shadow. And then the shadow version of the spirit sends her images and stuff. And then she communicates that way. And I'm pretty sure she astral projects. She might be astral projecting as there's communication. I feel like it, but don't quote me on it. I'm not 100% with that. But she's still getting images and stuff telepathically, right? Now, another medium, for example, James Van Praagh, right? Now, I've only read a handful of his books, and he makes it like he sees them like you, like if I was talking to someone face to face, like for him, it felt like from what I read that those images are clearer and he's literally talking to people, right? And they're clear, they're not shadows. So it's very interesting how other mediums see certain, you know, how they see spirits and how they, or what they need to do to get there, right? Now, one thing I really liked, obviously she's the Long Island medium, New York, right? So she's got that New York accent. So being around her, even though I didn't get picked, like the girl behind me got picked, and the way she communicates to people and how like loving and very like genuine she is, oh my God, like very, very like, she's amazing when it comes to that. Very like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, let's say you're nervous, right? She'll make that shit disappear. Like, you could see the golden light radiate off of her. It was amazing. Or maybe I saw it, but anyway, the way she talks to people is very like calm. She kind of reminds me of like the fun aunt. Half of my family's from Long Island, New York. So, I mean, for me, like being around her is very comfortable and like being with family. Now, I don't know if it's just because half my family is like her. They got like the same personality, be throwing out F-bombs and shit and not giving a fuck. Like, I love that about her. She is so nice. But so, I think that she is a really, really good medium, and I wish that I could get to her level in my lifetime. I might not ever, who the fuck knows, but, you know, when I came out of that show, I'm like, holy shit, like, I want to be like her, like, just the way she carries herself, I fucking love it. It was amazing, and I think if you ever get the opportunity, you should go see her live because it's an experience. Now be ready to cry because, you know, she'll be like, okay, this person, and then, like, sometimes she'll feel how they died, and she'll be like, or whatever, and she'll be like, okay, I'm seeing this, you know, girl in this outfit, you know, this old, whatever, and she died this way, and then, usually the spirit brings her to the person. Usually, what I noticed is in the show, she was within a person or two, like, around that person. Unless they were, like, in the audience and she couldn't get in there. But, typically, the spirit or spirits guided her exactly to the person she needed to be around. And I thought that was really cool. And then the whole piggyback thing, I was like, holy shit. Now, when I was there, I started to see the shadows, like, from her point of view. It wasn't very crisp or detailed, but it gave me a glimpse of how she saw things, and I did really much appreciate that. Now, I will say this, being empathic, right, and being able to see and feel certain things, being there gave me a massive fucking headache. Like, I was taking Tylenol and shit, and the headache wasn't going away, and I'm just like, fuck. And I don't, like, I could always chalk it up and be like, oh, it's because the weather, it snowed on the way home, who the fuck knows. But, like, usually when it's weather related, I take my Tylenol and I'm Gucci. And I felt the headache as soon as I parked my car and was walking into the casino. My head started hurt, and I even took Tylenol just in case, because I noticed when I'm around a lot of people, and I don't know if anyone else has experienced this, whether it's in movie theaters, at work, baseball games. I don't go to football games because I fucking hate football. Anything with the large group of people, I get a massive headache every fucking time. Every time. So I always make sure to carry Advil and Tylenol with me when I know I'm going somewhere with a lot of people. But so I know there were some negative entities there. And speaking of negative entities, sorry, she did say one thing that I didn't agree with, and a lot of people who watch me, you know, also will be with me and not agree with what she said. But the way she said it, she said, none of my guides have spoke about hell, so it must not exist. That's when I was like, understandable, okay? So if you're doing the experiences with your guides and doing your learning and stuff, I get it. A lot of mediums don't think hell exists because no spirits talk about it. However, being somebody who's been attacked by demons, who has helped people with demonic hauntings, I know full well that hell does exist. Fuck, I accidentally sold my soul to a demon a few months ago. Like, yeah, hell fucking exists. And I'm not, you know, here to talk trash about whatsoever. Like, she's never been in the position to have to worry about it. And you know what? I'm glad she doesn't have to worry about it because that shit sucks. And I think, too, when it comes to experiences from mediums, when you don't agree with, you know, what some say, right? What some mediums say, I think it's very important to not make a huge, I don't want to say make a huge deal about it and talk trash and all that stuff. Like, this is not what I'm doing. That's not what I'm doing. Because how I feel is mediums have their own purpose and, like, they're set to do certain things, right? So if they're not set to deal with that kind of thing, they're not going to experience it. So they're not going to know about it. So I understand, and I would never give her flack for that. No, never. Like, people experience their things in their way, which, you know, I try to say that a lot on my channel and be like, hey, like, we all experience things in our own way. Doesn't make someone necessarily right or wrong, but it's kind of hard with the hell thing, because a lot of us know that it is real, but I don't know how to, like, say it or phrase it. You know what I mean? Like, I would never want to be like, oh, well, this one doesn't know what they're doing because of this. It's like, well, they just haven't had that experience yet. But she didn't say that. So this is what I love about her, right? She didn't say, oh, hell doesn't exist. She was more of a, like, I've never experienced myself, so I don't know if it exists, but it probably doesn't. So it wasn't like, boom, like, it doesn't exist, or yes, it exists. It was more of a, this is my experience. I haven't experienced it, but from that, I'm guessing that it doesn't. Does that make sense? So I like how she phrased it. And to be honest, with the people grieving and needing the healing messages, I think, you know, it's not the right place or time to even talk about that anyway. Because the last thing you want to do is have a group of people, hundreds of people, right, who have loved ones that have died from, you know, things that in the Bible say if you do it, you're going to hell. So, like, suicide. Like, that's the last thing you want to, like, bring up in somebody's mind who just lost a loved one. You don't want them to be worrying about hell anyway, especially when they just lost a loved one. If that makes sense. I don't know. I might be explaining it wrong. I think it is important to know whether or not that place exists, right? Especially if it does. But, so I'm not saying to, like, hide it or anything. I'm just saying there's a right and wrong time and place to bring that stuff up. And that place was not a place to bring that up. So her answer, I think, was a respectable answer. So that's what I will say. There was, and I don't want to be too much in detail because, you know, these are private, like, shows. And people probably don't want their family's business online. So I'm not going to be specific when I give my examples. But, like, so the girl behind me and her friend. It was like a cousin and a friend and a sister and a mom. They were all seated different places. Well, two of them were right behind me, right? And so before she gets to them, she goes to the mom. And then they're literally right across each other, like, from each other. So one's on the left side, one's on the right side, but, like, there's the walkway that's in the middle. But so technically they're kind of seated next to each other, but not really. But so the spirit was able to be like, hey, like, these guys. And so when she went behind me, you know, they all started crying. And obviously, because they had a tragedy. And, you know, when people start crying, I'm going to start crying too. And so I started crying. And I'm just like, why did I come here? But no, seriously. It was an amazing show. She is very charming as a person. Really nice legs. Like, I like men, right? But I know when to, like, respect when, like, someone's hard work, and she's got some nice legs. And someone even made that comment. It was funny. But Theresa Caputo, the Long Island medium, she's a charming person. Her show was amazing. She's a very healing person. She is legit. So if you ever have the opportunity to see her, I think it is worth it, obviously. I think it's, if you're a medium, like trying to learn and work on your mediumship, fucking go. I think you should go. Any show you can get to with a medium that is, you know, more advanced, fucking go. I think it's a great opportunity to learn. And I want to learn as much as I can. And so, you know what? I'm going to start watching her shows and see how she does things and see if there's things that I can pick up to add into what I'm already doing to increase my skills. Because let's be real, I'm a baby when it comes to like mediumship. I don't know jack shit. Like, and I hope you guys don't think I ever try to claim more than I do. I try to be funny and try to like be engaging, but I try not to be a douchebag and be like, I know everything when I don't. I don't know shit. I don't know anything. Honestly, I don't. I mean, I can talk a lot of shit about demons, right? And I like to talk about, you know, my experiences and what happened during the experiences. I mean, that's all I can ever do is share my experiences. They're my experiences. Everyone has their own experiences. That's all I can ever really say on this channel. And I want this channel to build up a community where people feel safe to share without judgment, because I want people to feel comfortable here. I want people to, like, let's say they're suffering from a host of shit like anxiety, depression, and they have no one to talk to because let's say they are a medium or, you know, are sensitive to this stuff and they can't go to a psychiatrist or a psychologist. And I'm not claiming to be any of those whatsoever. However, it does help when you talk to somebody. And so it's better than bottling that shit up inside. And so I want this place to be a safe place for people to be able to do that. Even if it helps a little bit, okay? That's all I ever want, is people to feel safe, you know. So, you know, some things they need validated on. I understand, like, I'm a baby at this. Do you know how much validation helped me so much? If I didn't have any of the validation or someone to say, no, you're on the right track. If I didn't have any of that, I would not have this channel. My ass would have given up. I wouldn't be talking to, you know, friends and family. I finally, you know, feel, you know, more safe and more secure talking to family about it, to friends, to my boyfriend. Like, there were a lot of things I didn't talk about because I was afraid that they'd see me as fucking crazy, right? The girl with the fucking blue hair is crazy, right? Like, to be able to talk about that stuff actually helps your growth, if you didn't know that. And so I noticed moving out of my parents' house, right? My dad can be a jerk when it comes to this stuff. He don't believe any of it. But my mom does now. Like, I've, you know, proven myself quite a few times, not gonna lie. That helped people be like, oh my God, like, she ain't making this shit up. Like, yeah. And so when you can talk about it, it actually gives you more practice because, so at work, for example, I had an experience with a person, spirit, a human spirit, and she used to work where I work now, right? And before, when I saw like my coworker's dead mom back in Lancaster, I didn't say shit because I was like, oh my God, how these people are Amish and Mennonite, they're gonna think I'm evil. Like, you know what the Bible says, never trust a fucking medium. You know what I mean? So I didn't say anything. If I would have said, hey, does your mother look like this? And does she like to wear this? And is her favorite color like lilac or whatever? If I would have had that validation of, yeah, actually, like, then I would have more confidence in myself. So back to the work thing, right? To where I am now. I saw this coworker that I've never met. I didn't know anything about, okay? And I saw her. Of course, she was yelling at me because everybody fucking yells at me on the astral realm because I'm a dumbass. Let's be real. I'm a dumbass. And so, I'm getting scolded by this person I've never met before, but something about her felt like, yeah, she worked there. Like, that's the attitude a lot of people that work where I work have. And I was like, I think she might have worked there at one point. She was young. So I was like, do I say anything? And so I brought it up to my boss. Now, he don't believe in this shit, and he actually gave me a challenge, and I don't know if I'll ever be able to do it. Whatever, I don't need to prove myself to him, right? I don't need to. But so I was like, hey, like, I saw this person last night. And he was like, what? And I was like, yeah, like, does she ring any bells? And so he brought up a picture and he was like, was this her? And I was like, yeah, like, that was her. Like, what the fuck? He was like, yeah, she died from COVID. And I was like, oh my God, like, that's fucked up. But like, validated that who I saw was a legit and not just some fucking fever dream shit, right? Sometimes you get random dreams at night, as you can tell by my last videos. But so it was good to have that validation. Now, my previous office, I wouldn't have said shit, and I don't know if that person was actually who I thought it was. But because I was more comfortable talking about it at work, I was able to learn something from that. And that was like, what I'm doing is working. My meditation regime and my whatever. What I'm doing is working. And so I should keep trying it and not feel so disheartened that it's not working, right? And so, yeah, that's important. And so with my coworkers, when I notice something, I see something, say something. I notice there's a negative entity at my office, an earthbound spirit, okay? Really very strong, actually. And so I pointed it out, okay? And along with other earthbound spirits that I've been seeing in my third eye, which, like I said, for me, how I see things usually isn't outright. But occasionally I do see them, depending on who they are, what they are, right? Usually lower vibrational entities are the ones I see because my vibration, and I'm not saying I'm evil or anything, I just haven't worked my way up enough to where my vibration is super, super high to where I see angels all the time. I'm not there yet. I got a lot of fucking work to do. I know it. I know I do, right? And so the ones that I do see right now are usually earthbound or negative entities or demonic entities. And so yeah, but I am able to pick out some attachments here and there at work without meditating, like before I do it. And that actually helped me grow a bit. And yeah, so I think it's really important to be able to share your experiences to figure out if you're on the right track or not. Because how are you going to grow if you don't know what you're doing is working? Does that make sense? But yeah, so Theresa Caputo, yeah, she's legit. She's a good person to learn from. But yeah, I hope this video was entertaining in some way. I don't know. Hope you learned something new. I don't know. But thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you to all the patrons that actually are now on my Patreon. Like, thank you so much. Obviously, I only have like 300 and some subs on YouTube, so I'm not monetized in any way. So the only extra money that I've been getting right now is from my Patreon. I was doing the paranormal help stuff for free. Now I'm going to say this as a note. I'm taking a break from demon help right now because there are some other mediumship things that I want to work on. Like, going to her show was a good eye-opener of all the things I need to learn still. I mean, I'm always gonna be learning anyway, but I'm just saying, like, there are some other things I want to learn. And once in a while, I might go back to that. But I am the fine art medium, and so I want to use the fine art skills that I have and work with that, which I do use with the demon thing, right? When I draw the entities, if I have the time. But on my website right now, I took off the paranormal help. Not that I had any, what do you call it, clients anyway. I never got a booking anyway, so it doesn't even matter. So right now I'm just going to be focusing on, you know, learning more, using that with my art stuff. And yeah, so if you ever have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them down below in the comment section. Let's see, today's question: have you guys, any of you guys, seen any mediums live? And if you have, how was it? And if you haven't, who would you like to see? But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and peace out.